Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things. It has been a crazy couple of weeks. I kicked off the sell-a-thon, which is going well. I have multiple listings, so if you are interested in seeing what I have for sale, I will have the group link. It's a Facebook group. I apologize for using Facebook, but again, it was the best medium to use, and I know a lot of people don't use it who maybe once did, but that is where all my stuff is at. I have multiple listings. I am getting through them very quickly. I'll probably just do like a couple more weeks of it and then have to pack everything up because we get to move at the end of the month, so I have to have everything stowed back. But I am so happy to have my space back. I have been packed to the gills, and we're moving so much over the winter that I really didn't have an opportunity to deal with this until we landed for a long enough period of time for me to actually get everything out. And it has worked really well here, where I have a building that I get to use and put everything in, so it's not even in here with me at the moment, which is great. The other thing I just finished was my sentiment database. And if you haven't used it before, you can go to my website, which is right here, stuffandthings.com, letter N with a Z. And I've been curating a database. I keep it only with current products. It does have 4 years worth of data in it, but my programmed website that I have automatically makes things live and automatically makes things unlive at the end of their lifespan. And I'm not going to undo that at this point. So the tool is always and forever only going to be current sentiments. So a good idea of what you could use it for is if you're fishing through the catalog and you'd like to see maybe how many sets have Happy New Year in them, how many sets say Happy Thanksgiving, if any. The sentiment tool will be a really good resource for that. You can just type in whatever part of a sentiment and up will pop every sentiment that's current. So it's showing everything with the January through June catalog mini, as well as the new 2022 annual catalog. And on the 1st, which is Friday, it will also then show everything for the holiday catalog and the celebration catalog that begins in July. So the projects I have to share with you are, I will share with you the one that uses, this paper is still available. It is 50% off. So it is a saying goodbye to the Symbols of Fortune paper. And I've got 2 projects that I've created. I will show you my favorite one first, although I see one of my pearls has moved. The humidity is there. Here, we have a lot of humidity here, so I am just now starting to see the tape runners and dots don't work as well as they used to prior to the humidity. So I am now seeing a need, and I have an actually specific example to show you where the tape runner is just not working. So here's the first card. It's a fun fold. So basically, I'll have dimensions on how this works. You have a centerpiece. This is like 3 1/4 wide or some such. I don't have the dimensions handy. And you basically attach it to, it's a trifold card that is a top fold card. So it starts at 8 1/2. Yes, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then you score it right here to fold it back, and then you place whatever you want on the front, and you can make this decorative piece any width you want or any as narrow as you want. And I used the circle dies from Picture This to make these cute little guys. I created a scene, and these are cranes, and the heads of the cranes on this one are it's a very obvious, like a calypso coral, and this is inked with calypso coral, and we'll get back to that in a minute. So I actually took my calypso coral marks a lot, and I added little tiny dots on the dragonflies, and then I made the heads of these 2 cranes a much more prominent orange. They were very faint. You could hardly see them. And I would like to see a little bit more Calypso coral on here in some fashion, but I haven't figured out what that could be. And the other thing I would have liked to have done, but I didn't think of it till after, is I would like a texture on this evening evergreen to make it perfect. But I was afraid with the texture, the linen texture on the DSP that I used being vertical, that having another texture behind would fight with it, but I still think I would like some sort of texture. So the thank you has a piece of cut trim behind it that is the 7/8 inch trim that is going to go live on the 1st. And the fancy Asian looking border is from the Basic Borders die cuts, and I just used some pearls. So the inside has a stamp, and this little thing is a stamp. These are kanji symbols. I looked it up so I could tell you. The kanji symbol for friendship is what it says, and it is a set that is current, called Bamboo Beauty, and I really love it. I love the font, I love the bamboos. I don't have the envelope floating around here, but I did do the envelope with this small bamboo. And I like to write out my sentiments inside, so I went ahead and left it blank, but these wonderful little sentiments would be great. I picked this thank you from some other set that I cannot think of right now, and it is a new set. Actually, it is the host set, Expressions of Friendship, which I had hoped to do coloring as well as the Mischievous Mice, and it's only 2 days left, so unless I get a lot of free time, which tomorrow might be possible, but we are going to drive to the ocean tomorrow to Playa Linda Beach on the Atlantic coast, and I have wanted to color. So we'll see if I get to coloring, because I did just finish my data entry project, so I have some more free time. So the second project is a little more freeform. Hub doesn't really like this one, but I was trying to make use of the DSPs, so I used the simple bamboo background and then cut out, fussy cut very simply the dahlias. If those are dahlias, they look like dahlias to me. This is a new trim that's going to be released, and these butterflies are still going to be current. The thank you is from the Poppies Sentiments set. And I will have all of the supplies on my site. I did take and cut strips of the current gold foil and made a nice gold border on it. This is actually just a base. I haven't finished it yet, and it will have a like a 1/8 white around the edge, so that there's a little bit of white to have it pop. The second DSP, and actually the die cuts, so this is a saying goodbye. Unfortunately, the DSP is sold out. It is the Hey Sports Fan DSP. This came from Libby, and she was very kind and did a lot of fussy cutting of these little banners for me, so it was a lovely surprise. I had already purchased the die cuts because I love ticket die cuts, and I lost mine long ago. So she went ahead and did quite a bit of fussy cutting. I so appreciate it. I am just not the best fussy cutter. And then it did have and has some tickets that match perfectly with the ticket cutout. So sadly, the dies are available. They are 50% off. I cannot recommend them enough. They are wonderful. And this is my project that I made, and I will share my one little problem I'm having with it. You'll see that I've got just a bunch of layering of the different pieces that were cut. These stars are still available and are also at a discount. They come in yellow, green, blue, and red. And the one problem I have with this card is actually, I think, due to the humidity here. I went ahead and had already adhered this blue DSP to the red cardstock, and then ran it through the timber embossing folder, so it's textured, and you'll see that it's looking all lumpy, and that's because the adhesive tape runner is not sticking. Look, it'll just come right off. So I'm going to have to pop this whole thing off and glue it down And so far what I've just got is a tube of mono glue, and I will give it a glue down so that it will stay put. And it is the first project I have seen that when I go to card classes every other week here at TGO, they do use glue. So I'm getting more comfortable with using glue and being able to center my mats. I'm pretty particular about having my mats be correct, and gluing is a permanent proposition that, you know, once you put it down and you leave it for just a half a hot second, it's stuck and won't move. So I just wanted to reveal that this poor card needs to get redone a little bit. So those are my two projects. I've got, like I said, the website. If you go to my website, and there's the menu item for the sentiments are called Stampin' Up tools. It is the fourth item over from the left after supplies. And then there's the sentiment search, and then, like I said, you can type whatever you want to then get the list of all of the current products. And as of July 1st, Friday, the new catalog and the new SAB stuff will be loaded up there so that you can see what everything looks like. And once you look up and you click, you have the terms all showing on the page, and I do have a video on this. You can click on the set and it will show you the image so you can see exactly what it looks like. But there are also descriptions that show in the search results to kind of give you, you know, is it a small sentiment or is it a really big sentiment? Is it cursive or is it, you know, a sans serif or serif font? So you at least get an idea, so you don't click on ones that are just not going to be interesting for you. And I use the tool all the time. And again, I'll have that group for my sellathon I'm having of all of my retired products. I'll probably run them a couple more weeks. When I listing set, there's this frenzy of activity. A bunch will sell. It's pretty crazy, but really satisfying. And I've got this spreadsheet now that is wonderful, and it's all color coded, and I love doing spreadsheet work. So I did have a couple of long nights where I just couldn't make myself go to bed until I made the spreadsheet do exactly what I wanted. So I've got that all working. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them here on this video or over on my blog. If it's a more personal message or a question about my sellathon, please send me email from my website. The link is at the bottom of every page of my site. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.